going on, guys? It's your motivation guy, Keith Allen, and welcome back to another ProGuides Rocket League video. Let me ask you this. Ever get confused where your cars should be on the field? Today, we're going to be going over basic in-game rotations. You guys ready for this? I know I am. Let's get this going. You know, rotation is what determines who is going to hit the ball next or who's the next after that. Hence the name rotation, because it's rotating through the players on who's going next. You know, many players mess up rotation from very simple mistakes like cutting rotation, improper positioning, or bad boost management. Okay, so to start off with rotation, you're gonna first need to understand the positions in rotating. So there are two different types of rotation. There is offensive rotation, then defensive rotation. There is a position for each player on a team for both of these rotations. So for offensive rotation, there is the challenger. They are the player who is going for the ball next, trying to get past the other opponent and downfield. And so then there is the support position. This is who is going to be supporting the current challenger. They will usually position themselves on the opposite side of the field, either at the same distance or a little more forward, getting ready for a pass. Then the defense position, they will usually be positioned behind the challenger in case the ball gets past them. And on the chance it does, they are quickly there to challenge and just make a save or clear. Now, it might be a little confusing who would be who in this situation, so we're gonna give you a scenario. This is directly off of a kickoff. We're gonna say you're the one going for the kickoff and friend A and friend B are behind you. After the kickoff, you go to get your mid boost, then to rotate back towards your net. Friend A is moving up after getting boost to challenge the ball. Friend A is in the challenger position here. They're going up for the ball for a challenge and are trying to get past the other opponent. Now, friend B is the support position here, as he is on the other side of friend A going upfield waiting for a pass. You are in the defense position since you're already headed back towards the net and are not in a great position to contribute to the play just yet. The reason friend A is in the challenge position is because the ball simply was closest to them for a challenge. Friend B saw this and got into his rotation position as well, and seeing no one back, determined you're going into the defensive position. Now, what if we say friend A gets it past the opponent and on over to friend B? What would the positions look like? You would push up with friend B to try and make another play, and since friend A already used his boost and went for the ball, he would rotate into the defensive position. So a nice and clean-cut rotation would be going down the line of being defensive, then support, then challenger, and so on and so forth. So obviously at some points the rotation is cut or someone misses and then you go into a defensive rotation. So defensive rotation is a little more simple. Here your main objective is to clear the ball and get it out of your side to get back into an offensive rotation. So for here you're basically just circling around and doing a back post rotation. Again, there are three positions here. There would be forward, rear, and then the third is mid. Forward is the position where you're going to be the one challenging the ball for a block clear. Rear is positioned behind forward guarding the far post. If they miss the ball, they can get an easy save. Or if they clear the ball out, they can go up to the forward position guarding the front post. Mid is the player who just got out of forward position and are rotating back to rear position, grabbing small boosts along the way. Or if forward gets a hard clear, they can push up and challenge. We'll give you another scenario to try and better understand this, okay? So in this situation, you're the one in the mid position. Friend A is in the forward position and friend B is in the rear position. The opponent here is coming towards friend A, where he is positioned near the forward post. And at the back post, we have friend B waiting for his challenge. Friend A then challenges the ball, and during this, friend B is pushing up, taking friend A's old position. You are rotating back into friend B's rear position, as well as pick up some boost. So now the positions are you in rear, friend B in forward, and friend A in mid. Seeing as the ball was hit away from the net, giving you guys some time to breathe, friend B then further challenges it, trying to break it out of your side. You push towards forward position, and while friend A is positioned mid right now, he can either rotate back to rear, or depending on what happens, he can just push forward with friend B. The ball successfully gets out of your side of the field, and friend A is there to continue the challenge, turning it into an offensive rotation, making you rotate forward to the support position. This is the very basics behind rotation. There are some scenarios that will completely take you out of rotation, and getting back into rotation can be quite tricky as well. So there are also some other scenarios where rotation should be cut due to boost or the position of the opposing team. For instance, if the opponent gets a break from a rotation where two players are forward in an offensive position, leaving one player back, The two players up one should be rotating towards back post, and the other, if in a decent position, can rotate into the challenging position, keeping the player already back in a defensive position. Now, the objective here for the person intently cutting rotation is to shorten the area the opponent with possession can shoot or pass. This can either be through being a distraction and bumping or blocking off an area by placing his card beside him, or they can go for a challenge taking the ball away from them. In the case that he's going for a distraction, the player in the defensive position to begin with should stay in that position until the gap between him and the opponent is short enough for a safe and easy challenge. In that case, the person cutting rotation would rotate back post, and the player rotating back post would move up to front post. I know this might sound a little confusing, so we're going to show you what we mean in real time. In this scenario, the friend A and friend B have lost possession. Friend A goes to rotate back post, while friend B picks up mid boost to quickly get back to the opponent who took possession. So you are back in the defensive position waiting for friend B to cut rotation. It's very important not to double commit with friend B in this situation, as you're going to wait for friend B to take the possession of the ball. Friend A has successfully gotten back into his back post position, leaving you to move up and just pressure more with friend B, successfully removing the possession of the ball from your opponent. This is a scenario, guys, that really works in very certain situations, and cutting rotation is not something that should be done regularly. It's more of a way to really make up for your already broken rotation. You know, rotation might be a little hard to do in a solo queue, so our advice for solo queue rotations is to play more passive. Obviously, rotations with the party will be more proficient and even more so if your party is in a call with communications. That brings me back to the passive rotation for solo queue. Like, you might be wondering, how do you passively rotate without getting in the way of your teammates? So it's pretty simple, actually. So your teammate regularly will want to play more aggressive if in a solo queue. There isn't a real reason behind it, but if you notice it, this rotation method is what you're going to want to follow. Passive rotations revolve around mainly, being backup for your teammates. You're going to mainly be lurking around mid and backfield. You mainly want to make sure before going up with one of your teammates is that someone is back in a defensive rotation, taking your spot, making sure if you and your teammate lose possession, he can just prevent an easy breakaway goal. Scoring is important in this game, which is why making sure your opponents don't score is just as important, if not more. So if your teammates can score while you rotate passively and stay with the defensive mindset, you can easily prevent your opponents from getting stupid goals or weaken their aggression. Here's an example of that, all right? We're gonna say in this scenario that you're the one playing more passive and your solo queue teammates are the ones that are up. In this spot, it looks like according to the normal rotation gameplay, you would go up and your teammate will take your spot. Instead, you stay back, making sure to keep a strong defensive stature. And your teammates, instead of just rotating fully back, rotate midfield, then quickly go back into the offensive. This might be annoying at times, guys, but in another scenario, you can see that since you're playing patiently, when they get an easy breakaway, you can easily get to the ball and clear it, then move up. This might not always be the scenario. Your teammates might want to just rotate more fluidly, and in that case, just use the normal rotation methods I gave earlier. Rotations can be a little tricky to get down, but if you guys can follow these steps, I'm sure you're gonna get it down in no time. All it takes is some practice and some experience. Just remember not to get worried when it's your turn to rotate up or back, and just keep your composure. I hope this video helped you guys really understand a little bit more about the mindset of rotation, and I hope you look forward to our future videos. If you guys liked the video, make sure to sub to the channel. And if you wanna connect with me on my Instagram, I'm right here at Your Motivation Guy. Man, I believe in you guys. Keep going, never quit, never surrender. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.